Okay, Manchester City have beaten Fulham 4-0, but Fulham didn't show up at all. Fulham were exceptionally poor. That made it easy for Man City to score 4 goals, and Man City didn't play particularly well, if I'm honest. There was a lack of intensity in this game. There were lengthy periods where I was going to sleep. But early on, Fulham sloppy out of the gate. Team Ream, the captain, gets sent off. Straight red in the for a last man in the box. Totally deserved. Gundogan slots the penalty. Disastrous start for Fulham. Then Bernardo Silva scores, I think, the best goal of the game. Twisting and turning, regaining control of the ball and getting it on his left foot, which, as Fulham defenders, poor defending. And that's going to be a theme throughout this game of Fulham. They were their own worst enemies. They were so sloppy when they actually did get the ball. They never got behind the Man City defence. Otamendi is the weak link there. Challenge him for positioning and pace. They didn't do that. They didn't do that with what they had up front in Carvalho. He's quick, he's pacey. We've seen him play for Wolves last year. We know he's got pace. We know he can score goals. And they didn't even want to lock it long. They wanted to do this, the passing out from the back, which, while when it works, it's brilliant. When you are not doing it with any pace or any intensity or passing in the wrong areas, you're going to lose. And that's what happened today. Now, the game lacked a bit of intensity for lengthy spells. We get to half-time. It's 2-0. Fulham had improved somewhat defensively, but they just couldn't get out. They had no possession. And when they did get possession, they were sloppy with it, so they were constantly on the back foot. And when I say they defended well, they got some blocks in, got some tackles in. Rodak made a couple of saves, but in reality, they were their own worst enemy because they were looking very disorganised in defence. There was no defensive structure. It was just getting bodies in the way and numbers back. And they got lucky because Man City were a bit wasteful in front of goal. You look at their shooting percentage, it's for a team of their quality, it's not good enough. They need to be more accurate with their shooting because it could have been 4-0 at half time rather than 2-0. So if Man City were a bit more accurate with taking their chances or making the goalkeeper Rodak work more, they might have had a better scoreline. Now, Gabriel Jesus was the best player on the pitch. He deserves his 2 goals in the second half. He's picking up scraps in the box. He's in the box, and they're 2 snipers finishes of a quality player who's in form. The first goal that he scored went to VAR review, and I was hoping it wouldn't take 2 minutes of my life to get that done. It did. Really disappointed that they've got the VAR wrong. We've done a video on VAR already. Not happy at all with the fact it took 2 minutes to what should have taken 10 seconds. Unnecessary waste of time. They need to sort VAR out because that's not good enough. But his 2 goals were carbon copies. Basically, he's headed them both in because he's sniping around in the box for that second chance. Rodak makes a save for one of them. He heads it in. He's in the box, sniping for that second chance. Richie deserved both goals because he worked tirelessly. Because he forced the penalty, and he was working tirelessly all day. Possibly should have had a hat trick. Fulham, on the other hand, just didn't show up. No pushback. We've seen teams go down at 10 men before and then go on to pull off cup shocks. Fulham were just poor. Absolutely poor. There was no change of game plan from Scotty Parker. There was no rearranging of the team after the sending off in 5 minutes. He didn't make a substitution until late in the second half when the game was already gone. I felt like it was sort of like pre-arranged that Man City would win this game, it seemed, because there was no intensity from Fulham. There was no pushback. There was no energy there. Now, I understand, yes, you've got a busy league campaign, but Man City have made 8 changes because they've got a cup semi-final in the League Cup in midweek. They were still showing a willingness to take chances, and admittedly it wasn't their best performance and their slickest performance because of 8 changes. But there's a lot of first team regulars in that starting lineup today, who, when there are injuries, they will play lengthy spells in the team. There are players in there fighting for a starting spot in that team. They weren't tested defensively. I mean, Claudio Bravo is a keeper who's got mistakes in him. 1 save he had to make all game. He must have been getting bored at the other end. Things I will note, Man City did make 8 changes. Also, Fulham, the only changes they had to make were enforced by injury, so pretty much a full-strength side, really poor showing. Empty Etihad. The attendance was only 39,000, and there could be a multitude of reasons for that, but this is a common theme with Man City, is a lot of fans, be it Man City fans or the away fans, are saying the stadium is never really sold out when we go there. Now, I'm curious to find out why. Is it ticket price? Is it how they do the season ticket deals with cup games being included or not included? What is the reason why the whole top tier today was empty and not occupied on the main stand side where the dugouts are? Could someone explain that to me as a Man City fan? Because for a club that's been so successful in the last decade, Why are fans not turning up? Why is there large amounts of empty seats and unfilled tiers of a stadium for a cup game, which is a one-off occasion? Because Fulham, if that was at the Craven Cottage, would have sold out the cottage. And they have a decent-sized fan base. Man City have a decent-sized fan base. They have a big fan base, actually. They're one of the biggest clubs in the country. Why is it then they can't sell out their stadium for a one-off cup tie? And I'm asking that seriously. That's a question I have long-term with Man City. When they were at Main Road, they sold out regularly. In the early days at what is now the Etihad, the City of Manchester Stadium, they sold out regularly. Why is it now they're not selling tickets when they're more successful and they have trophies coming in? So I would like to know from Man City fans why that is. But on the game itself, Man City were not playing well, won 4-0, much like Leicester yesterday, not playing well, winning 1-0. No goals conceded. Possible slight injury concern with Mahrez going off just after half time. He did take a heavy tackle in the first half from Brian. So bit of protection of the player there. No real injury concerns, so they didn't play well. Yes, it's predominantly their second string 11. They still won the game, scored 4 goals. They could have scored more, so shooting accuracy is another thing I think Man City need to improve. But overall, I think Guardiola and Man City can be happy with winning the game, but I don't think they'll be necessarily happy with their performance because we know Guardiola's a perfectionist. Thank you very much for watching. Obviously, we have Liverpool versus Shrewsbury at the New Meadow in Shrewsbury, so Liverpool are the away team. Could there be an upset there? Because we know Jurgen Klopp's, not necessarily got the best record necessarily as a cup manager because he's only won the one cup final. So it'd be interesting to see how Liverpool performed today as the away team. The weather is not great. There is a lot of rain around. Could that contribute to a heavy pitch, for example? It's a lower league ground. So we'll see what happens there. But thank you very much for watching. Place your comments below and I'll have some more videos for you very, very soon.